back up, back up, back up, back up. 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 Wait a minute, I was told there's no back up. Got this all in my back up, but I won't be your back up. Back up, living life in respect. I might slip out and back up, but I won't be your victim. I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up.
Is you thinking I'm jumping and leaking and leak immediately? Show up this evening and wait till you sleeping. Kick the door open, I'm scanning for motion. I'm just trying to make all my pockets obese. Don't want, I just want the Lucci. So me and all of my poochies can eat. For his loose change, take his boo thing out the PF chains and take him K, get steak or something. Something looking at me like I'm opaque or something. Don't I look like Drake or something? Something better tell mankind Undertaker coming.
Back up, back up. I was told there's no back up. Got this all in my back up, but I won't be your back up. Back up, living life in respect. I might slip out and back up, but I won't be your victim. I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'm in the 7, I'm gonna act up. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Spilling the tea, you stirring the cup. I'ma need you to back up. I'ma need you to back up. Yep. I'ma need you to back up. Come from off the top, the flow is hot, I got you shot. Come from off the top, you know I be smarter than Spock. Come from off the top, the flow is hot, I got you shot. Come from off the top, come from off the top.
Can't keep up, you too slow. You just watch, I control. I take half, you not whole. Got your mind, got your
This is a scenario, I'm in your area, this is your definitely. Turn up your stereo, get this jumping like Mario, now you ain't with me. You terrible, I might embarrass you right here in front of your whole family. Hot in Nigeria, this is the year of the beer, leave it here in a chair so they know we was here. Staring in fear like a deer when the car coming near in the middle of the road, bit of beer. You don't wanna rock with the man, hands off of the grands, counting up bands while I talk to the fans. Knew I could jam, but the top wasn't playing. Now everybody wanna be friends. How you? Said I'm just fine, in the right place, at the wrong time. Said I go crazy, out of my mind. And I think back when daddy wrote down that it might scrape and it might grind, but you work hard and it might shine. Let me slow down, switch the time and quit hiding.
Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up.
You know, this couldn't be a tip special without gameplay producer Scott O'Gallagher.
And over the last couple of weeks, he's been giving you insight on improving your game on the court and on the stick.
That's right, and he's back this week with another Winning Tips segment. Take it away.
Welcome back. Again, if you have not seen
An overhead look at downtown Philadelphia. That's the site of our broadcast tonight. Thanks for joining us here on 2K Sports for NBA basketball. Moments away, it'll be the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. With Doris Burke, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan. And we welcome in someone who has been writing and communicating NBA basketball thoughts in book, over the air, in podcasts, and on TV, the terrific Bill Simmons. Bill, great to have you.
And now for somebody who's playing a video game at 3 in the morning. That's my next.
Thank
that's
you
the
very
next
much.
phase for me.
But isn't this a great venue for
This
you?
is great.
I know.
This is great. They're half asleep. My voice is waking them up. I'm excited.
Bill Simmons is terrific.
Yeah. Wake up. I'm talking to you.
And a quick look here at some of the numbers for him.
And the stat to look at is his steal total over the last 5 games. He's been focusing more on his defense, trying to be a disruptor, and it's made them a lot tougher on D.
And let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report before the tip-off. Hey, Dave.
Well, Joel Embiid and the Sixers have been through a lot in the last 5 years. At the beginning, there were so many losses on and off the court. But trust the process became a mantra, one that Embiid embraced. He said, "I think a lot about what I went through, how it prepared me to be a better man. I really feel like I'm the process, and the process is about me." Kevin, the process has turned out quite well.
Thank you, David. Well, Ben Simmons has a very versatile game, there's no doubt, except that his shooting is something that drives you crazy, and that's probably going to determine how great he can become in this league.
Yeah, and maybe what position he ends up playing too, because you could argue maybe you just play him at point center and you put him with somebody else who can stretch the floor, maybe protect the rim a little bit. But I think the thing with Ben is he looks so much better during the regular season because the pace is different. But as you know, in the playoffs, it slows down. And I don't see any roadmap for him being a superstar if he doesn't figure this out. I still feel like athletically, he's way, way up there. And it's just going to come down to, can he go to the next level as somebody who's really never won anything? You know, you think like he's been in round 2 and that's it in 2 straight playoffs. And in both round 2s, didn't play well. I think winning is a skill and competing at a certain level is a skill. And I'm not sure we've seen that from him enough yet.
Well said. So here's Oklahoma City's starting group. Gallinari and Adams, the combo out front. Chris Paul is out there with Gilgeous-Alexander, and it's Ferguson in at the 3 slot. And for the 76ers, the tall lineup out there for the 76ers. Simmons, Richardson, Harris, Horford, and Embiid. Now here's Gilgeous-Alexander, following the miss by Josh Richardson. Paul outside. Clock at 6. The 3. It's hauled in by Harris.
Got his hand out enough on that one to bother the three-point attempt. Great hustle on that one.
You know, we talk about this time and time again, trying to stay connected to shooters along the perimeter. Nicely done.
Here's Paul after Ben Simmons' bucket. The shot's good from Paul.
Poor design there defensively. They know he's a knockdown shooter from that spot.
That's not coming with the right mentality. The defender neither closes the space nor challenges the shot. That's frustrating as a coach, boy.
Down low, here's Adams. That shot missing, and the 76ers go the other way with it. You'll name a couple past superstars that didn't always get enough credit for being as dominant as they were.
Moses Malone would be my number 1 pick. Probably the best player in the league for 5 years. Dominant in '83, they won the title in Philly. Really gave Kareem a lot of problems and was just awesome and has now just been swept under the rug. Nobody even really remembers. So I would go with him first.
Ever?
Never. Well, it was part of the problem. They were tape delaying games back then, and we didn't have league pass. We didn't have a lot of that stuff. I think he was really underrated, and you kind of never know who's going to endure and who's not going to endure, which is one of the reasons I wrote my book.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
That one goes. Count it.
Well, that's a nice play. You've got to read the situation and go to your floater game when necessary.
And Simmons slams it in.
And how about the slashing ability of Simmons, really creating havoc for the defense with his aggressive mentality.
Thunder trailing by 4. Pass to Ferguson. Back to Paul. Adams trying to free himself up. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a 3-point play chance for him. The Thunder shooting their first free throw of the night. And that one falls for Paul.
And no doubt Paul is still a top-tier point guard, a determined defender, and, of course, a remarkable distributor.
Well, certainly not the best defensive effort, but this guy can't make them pay for their laziness.
Gilgeous-Alexander surveying the D, and they take the lead.
Listen, there is a touch and a confidence about Steven Adams. If he's in the paint, he will get it done.
Goes up the baseline, and he overshot that one, missing. So the 76ers, their last game, a loss to the Rockets. Passes it to Paul, fires the three, and Embiid pulls it down. And here's Embiid. He'll bring it up for the Philadelphia 76ers. They trail by 1. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, and it's Paul missing. The 76ers have gone 5 of 9 from the field here in the first. And it's simple. Wow, hammering it in!
Al Horford is such a tremendous passer as a big man. Wow, does he get work done offensively.
Oklahoma City's gone 0-3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside. Pass to Adams. Kicks to Paul. Shoots it. Paul missing again.
I think he's got to settle down because right now it feels like he's rushing, like he's forcing some shots. This quarter he has been completely bothered.
And Bill, when it comes to NBA awards, some people have said voter fatigue is a factor. Would you agree with that?
No, I actually think NBA awards are in the best shape they've been in because people are afraid to screw up. You know, that with the internet and the accountability we have now.
Accountability, exactly.
And
There's
also,
nothing anonymous about it. You know,
no. And we have really good numbers and metrics now. And I actually think we make the right decisions with this stuff most of the time now. I didn't really see any egregious stuff last year other than the one person who voted Dwayne Wade for second team All-NBA.
You get a vote, don't you?
I do, and I take it really seriously.
I do too.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. And
I really care
our
about
name
it.
is attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, when I wrote my book, I really relied on the All-NBA stuff. They're a snapshot of what happened that season.
Good point. And here are the 76ers now, following the score by Oklahoma City.
Well, they're calling his number time and time again, and he is delivering.
With some arc, and it's good on the layup. Paul's got 9.
And offensively right now, each team getting what it wants.
Yeah, this is already a high-scoring game, but we knew that was a possibility coming into this one.
Shots good by Simmons.
I'll tell you, this lead's not going anywhere with this guy making plays. What a quarter.
Paul against Simmons. Paul goes in. Again, the Thunder score.
And young point guards can learn a lot from Paul. The way he handles the ball is remarkable.
And Simmons slams it in.
Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Boy, it's incredible how much explosive scoring ability can come from the lead guard position. That is a big-time play.
Yep, it counts. And that's 13 points for Chris Paul.
Great quarter for him at the offensive end, trying to will his team back in the game.
Simmons. Here's Horford. The shot misses. Adams, some nice D. Oklahoma City trailing. Ferguson for 3. That one's not going to go.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Horford, no luck.
Boy, if you're going up against this guy in this close a range, you've got to defend with everything you've got. A tremendous job defensively.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
As Tobias Harris expands his shooting range, Bill, the demand for his services continues to grow. Now, but he's moved around the league a lot here. I mean, he's seen a lot of different addresses so far.
Yeah, and that's a red flag. You know, I think when somebody's been on 5 teams and keeps getting traded, he's good enough that other teams keep trading for him. And then he's also not quite good enough that teams are okay if he leaves. And that's a dangerous place to be as an NBA player. You end up 20 years from now, you look at his basketball reference page and you're like, wait, that guy was on 9 teams? What happened? So I would like to see him eventually find the right team. I thought Denver would have been a really good fit for him. as a free agent with the way he can play off the ball and the way he plays on pick and rolls and stuff, like to put him with Jokic and a team that kind of understands what he is. I didn't like seeing him on Philly last year. I thought, they basically turned him into somebody who just stood in the corner and rebounded. I think he's a better player than that.
Raul Neto's checked in for the 76ers. And then for Oklahoma City, Nader's checked in. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Chris Paul. And the basket by Horford.
Kevin, how about the focus of Al Horford? He doesn't let the defense affect his shooting.
To the inside, here's Gallinari. And a great assist by Gilgeous-Alexander as that one goes in. Gilgeous-Alexander's got 3 assists tonight. Neto kicks to Embiid. Shoots over Adams, and again, it's Philadelphia.
This guy reads situations so well, and he knows how to execute.
And first time out of the game called for Oklahoma City.
And sometimes from the outside, not always clear what led a coach to call for a timeout.
And as you know, it's what comes after that gives you some sense of what has changed.
The 76ers will go for a different look here. Kyle O'Quinn is checked in for Joel Embiid. Mike Scott comes in for Al Horford. Ennis, he's checked in for Tobias Harris. And it's Korkmaz in for Richardson. Now here's Schroeder. His last outing, we saw him pour in 22. Back to Diallo. He feeds it to Muscala. And it's blocked by O'Quinn.
Well, just such an active presence on the defensive end. Kyle O'Quinn, get that weak stuff out of here.
Clock is at 3. Here's Schroeder. Seen a handful of players land the Supermax contract bill. By and large, how do you see those deals working out?
It's tough. Nobody's really been happy with it yet. It's so much money and it's such a big part of somebody's salary cap, and you're just kind of handicapped with it. And we've seen John Wall is the worst case scenario of it, but the situation Charlotte was in with Kemba Walker, where he makes the All-NBA team and now his Supermax is $240 million instead of $180. Like, that's crazy. And in a salary cap league, to pay $50 million a year from somebody is just nuts. It compromises the ceiling of the team. So the Bucks are going to be in this position with Giannis, where he's making $55 million a year and the cap's $120. How are you going to put a good team around?
You can't maneuver.
You can't. So I would put a wrinkle in there that I would make the Supermax, whatever, pay the player whatever the number is, but it only counts for like $32 million or something. Make it so that it's not prohibitive.
A percentage of the total cap.
Yeah, make his cap figure is 32. Even if you're paying him 55, and then that way people could compete better.
Well, coaches love seeing this from Dennis Schroeder. Recognize the situation, find the open teammate.
And it's Neto with the ball. He'll bring it up for the 76ers. And that one's good. Korkmaz. And the 76ers lead by 4. Thunder shooting it officially from the get-go. They're at 52% from the field. Muscala, the pass to Schroeder. Here's Baisley. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
I think this is a spot he has got to become more consistent from if you want to command the defender's respect.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And there's the call. Oklahoma City with the foul. The 76ers shooting their first free throws of the game right now.
And it's been an average year, really, at the free throw line for this group, only around 75%.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. And so he makes both from the line. And so here is Oklahoma City. 6-point game. Bill defenders are doing a better job of challenging the shooter from the side so they don't foul and don't step into that landing space when he comes down from shooting.
Yeah, I don't like the landing space. And all that stuff. Like,
well, what would you call
load management? We have all these phrases now. It's like, how did these phrases come in my life?
Load management is interesting.
Load management's the worst. Where did that start?
I don't know.
Can we just play basketball?
Just like work, yeah. Just you could figure, just rest.
What's the thing they call when the guy travels, but they say it's not? It's like he's gathering the ball. That's another one.
Gathering the ball.
Never said gathering the ball in my life until 2 years ago. Enough with the weird phrases.
Yeah. Now here's Ennis. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game.
And creating a little separation here, gaining some confidence.
Well, if you continue to execute at both ends, you can build on this lead.
Here's Diallo. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Cavaliers in Cleveland. Shooter kicks to Muscala to end the run. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
A team's rebounding is a great measure of its energy, and theirs has been terrific here in the first quarter.
Thunder coming to this one after the win against Cleveland. Shooter passes to Baisley. Here's Muscala. Gets that one to fall after missing his first 2. 1 for 3 from the field. Philadelphia leading by 8. Here's Korkmaz. Banked in off the glass. Korkmaz has got 6.
Yeah, we're seeing some fireworks from them already.
Well, what I love is the game plan has been solid from the opening tip, and guys are making their shots. That's critical.
Now here's Schroeder. His numbers are looking pretty good. He's got his scoring average up around 18.5 points a game. Now the pass to Diallo. From outside, off the mark. And so it's Philadelphia going into the break with a 10-point lead. They've dictated the pace, pushed the ball at every chance, and it's paying off for them. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Chris Paul, an elite defensive player, a student of the game for sure, talks about his knack for making a lot of steals, forcing turnovers.
The steals thing is just something that I've always had a knack for doing, and just I think it's because I watch so much basketball.
Well, you hear about the importance of watching film, Greg. It reveals itself in many ways.
And learning guys' habits, what they like to do, gives him a knack for when to go after steals without hurting his team.
And glad to have you with us, folks. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And guys, what's your take so far in Philadelphia?
Well, they used the fast break to generate some easy buckets before the defense could get set.
And we know this. Every team in the league now seems to be looking to play with pace.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So for Oklahoma City right now, we've got Dennis Schroeder. Muscala is out there with Diallo. And it's Baisley in at the 4-man position. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, Josh Richardson has made himself into one of the top defensive wings in the league. Richardson says there's a certain competitiveness that comes with being a good defender. The defensive end takes will, and I have a lot of it. Kevin J. Rich is self-described as super competitive, and that edge is what drives him.
It sure is. That's what it takes. Thank you, David.
In the mid-range, rarely the hallmark of efficiency in today's NBA, but it is on point tonight.
Now here's Schroeder. Pass to Burton. And here's Diallo. Looking to end the run. Over to the left wing. Baisley passes to Diallo. And 3 chances on that possession, but they just couldn't find a way to score.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
Bill, you host your own podcast. I've listened to it. I subscribe to it.
Thank you.
I love it. What do you make of so many NBA players now doing the same thing?
And we have a couple of them. At the Ringer, we have J.J. Redick, and we have Vince Carter and Kent Bazemore. The ones that are good at it take it seriously. It can't be one of those things where, a player says, you know what, I want a podcast, and then it just magically happens. Like, you got to work on it. You have to use your connections and book your guests, and you have to be candid on the podcast. You can't just show up and just babble. And the guys that have been successful at it are people that could probably have a media career for a living. Like JJ is clearly going to go into media after he retires. Richard Jefferson had a great podcast. He's gone into media. He's really good.
Yes.
So I think you need a little more talent at it that people realize. And you need the consistency of it. You can't say, I'm starting a podcast and then not do it for 2 months. Like, you have to really stick to it.
And with their offense sputtering, coaches got to get them back on track.
And to me, they're just taking too many tough shots. And when they do get an easy one, the confidence just isn't there.
Tobias Harris is checked in for Korkmaz. Paul's checked in for Oklahoma City. And we've got a moment now to check out the Eastern Conference standings and see where everyone is sitting as things begin to settle down just a bit through the midway point of the season. You take a look at the 76ers. They're in the middle at 5th in the conference, looking to build in the wins as the season goes on.
And I think for the 76ers, they've done a good job staying relevant this season. I mean, I was concerned they'd suffer a drop-off, but just give them credit. They've hung in here in this playoff race.
The resiliency has been crucial for this team. Anytime it looks like they may start to drag a little bit, they've picked it back up and stayed in the hunt.
And they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a three-point play. Philadelphia shooting their third free throw shot of the game. And Oklahoma City making a change here. Gallinari's checked in.
One shot.
Bill, you wear so many hats, writing, producing, performing. You're running the Ringer, which is highly successful. What role satisfies you the most?
I would say working with young people and trying to help them get better. I think that's the coolest thing you can do, especially if you feel like you've done some good stuff and accomplished some things and realized some dreams. Like, the next thing to do is just to, can you help other people get to where they should get?
Well, a lot of this wasn't around when you and I were growing up. So what were your dreams?
My dream initially was just to write a sports column that people read. That's what I wanted forever, yeah. And then the most satisfying thing is just not knowing what's next, but taking chances and hoping things are going to be fun and work out. You have to have a good team around you, and you have to have like 6 or 7 awesome people that you completely trust who can help you do stuff, because it's impossible to do everything yourself, especially if you're trying to increase the scale of what you're doing. And I think that even works for an NBA organization. You know, it's not like one person running everything. I would say putting a good team around you is the most important thing.
And Ennis slams it in.
And if you look at this first half, overall, they've just had the better shot selection.
And I think, obviously, we see the execution and the willingness to make the next pass so important.
And it's Gallinari missing. And the 76ers with possession. They're on a 19-5 run. And the basket by Harris.
Getting it done on both ends, and it shows up in the score.
Well, what I love, Greg, is the energy they're bringing right now. They're ignoring the scoreboard and playing hard.
Passes to Muscala. Nobody near Schroeder. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Left side, Harris. And that one off the back of the rim and in. Harris has got 7 points for the quarter.
I'll tell you, right now, these guys cannot be stopped.
Boy, it looks like their confidence is at an all-time high, just feeding off each other right now.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. Coming into this, having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
Yeah, it was all hands on deck. Helps to get points off the bench when you're on the road.
One thing we know, Greg, great teams in the NBA get production off the bench, and that was critical that night.
Let's take a look at Danilo Gallinari's numbers. He's been in good form here the last few weeks. He's averaging about 19 points per, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Well, fans of this team will take this kind of production from him without hesitation.
I tell you, he has been a solid contributor. They have called his number, and he has delivered for them.
Pass to Ferguson. The Thunder with another miss.
Boy, you can just see the frustration growing on their faces. Nothing going their way.
It's just been one of those games, and they need to find a way to turn it around before it gets completely away from them.
Now here's Paul. He's got 19. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
That's his first personal foul.
He's gone 1 of 1 in the game so far from the line.
2 shots.
And the 76ers decide to take their first time out here. Their last meeting was in Oklahoma City, where they were unable to fight off the Thunder.
Yeah, and their last time playing against this club, they fell short. A lot of cheap fouls really plagued their starting unit.
You know, you try to establish consistent substitution patterns. It helps you stay in a rhythm, and they had to go to their bench much too early.
Philadelphia will go for a different look here. Joel Embiid, he's checked in for Kyle O'Quinn. Horford comes in for Scott. Josh Richardson's checked in for Ennis. And Simmons subbed in for Raul Neto. And that one falls for Paul. He's off on the second. And Embiid has got the ball here for the 76ers. Only giving up 6 here in this quarter. A shot off that time. Oklahoma City's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Down low, Gallinari. And Gallinari throws it down.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
Here's Simmons, and he elevates for the slam dunk. Steven Adams did not like that at all.
You can't let Simmons get going off of these dunks. His confidence just soars when he slams it down like there.
Ball outside. His three-pointer's off the mark. The 76ers shooting 71% all in all in this one. They've been brilliant offensively. 2 points. That one goes.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Now the Thunder with it. They'll be off to Brooklyn for a meeting with the Nets after this one. And that will conclude a 4-game road trip.
Just a cold shooting night. Needs to try to make it into the basket.
Here's Richardson. And the rebound goes to the Thunder. Ferguson, the pass to Paul. And he floats in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one.
Beautiful stuff from CP3, figuring out every single way to exploit the weakness of the defense.
That one goes in, and it's now 26 points for Ben Simmons.
Well, 9 times out of 10, that probably is a miss, but somehow he finds a way.
Horford against Gallinari. They double him with Horford. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. Now the 76ers with it. Tough loss coming against the Rockets in the last game they played.
Yeah, that was a rough outing. They did a few good things, but the inconsistencies caught up to them in that one.
To be perfectly frank with you, Greg, I'm surprised it was as close as it was. I thought they were outclassed all night.
Paul can't get it to go.
Not sure why he keeps trying his luck from deep here. It's just not his night.
Oh, and the jam by Ben Simmons.
What breathtaking quickness by Simmons. So good at blowing by whoever is brave enough to try to take him on.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Adams down low. Embiid's there. Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Paul. And again, Oklahoma City, no good. Here's Simmons, and Simmons slams it in.
He's an absolute gym rat. Simmons is relentless in his pursuit to dominate really all phases of the game and improving with his scoring.
Now, here is Gallinari. He had 19 points in the win against Cleveland.
But I love the determination, guys. It's simply not there for him right now.
Pulls up on the wing. No good from Simmons. Here's Oklahoma City now. To the wing right side. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. No good again that time. The 76ers shooting 71% all in all in this one. They've been brilliant offensively. A nice shot by Embiid.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Paul against Simmons. Paul dishes to Gallinari. Here's Ferguson. He's coming off a 13-point game against Cleveland. 4 on the shot clock. They get it again. Adams down low. Guarded by Horford. Drains the three-pointer. Paul's got a pair of triples in the second now for Oklahoma City.
Sometimes trailing in the game, players get sucked into trying to make that home run play.
Oklahoma City shooting at 36% on the night. They've got to step it up offensively. To the paint, here's Gallinari, and they pick up 2. Gallinari's got 6.
And the future Hall of Famer loves to dish the rock. Paul has a pass-first mentality. He makes everyone around him better.
They get it back, and a dunk by Horford.
Second chance points always hurt. Just not enough effort to block out.
No doubt those extra possessions can really add up against you when you do not take care of the defensive glass.
Here's Paul. 76ers getting the bucket. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. That's on Ben Simmons.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
The Thunder have made 2 of their previous 3 free throws in today's game.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
First one falls for him. The 76ers making a switch here. Korkmaz is checked in, and Oklahoma City making a change here. And so he's able to get 1 of 2.
And he's been much more aggressive here in the second quarter. He's getting to the line a lot more than he did in the first. And with the lead, I like the strategy here. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
One thing we've learned in the NBA, the game is never over. So you've got to continue to score, continue to build your lead.
And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
And working, Kevin, themselves to the line here in the second. A nice way to get your offense going.
For Oklahoma City, they have shot 3 of 5 at the foul line. Timeout called the 76ers. Diallo, he's checked in for the Thunder.
And a moment now to look at the numbers for Horford. Averaging 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. You know, you look at the numbers and you think that this is great, but we know that he's capable of even bigger production.
You know, the numbers look okay, but the eye test tells us unequivocally he is capable of more. That is the sign of a star right there.
That's good from Gilgeous-Alexander. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. Here's Simmons. 29 points for him last game against Houston.
And he was also a big factor for them defensively. I think he tallied 4 blocks in the game.
Gilgeous-Alexander passes to Baisley.
Well, not exactly one of those big, burly power forwards, right? He depends on his leaping ability more than those guys, and it serves him just fine, Kev.
Embiid, no good.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
We call that a great contest. You know this is something he brings to the table, the ability to anchor your defense.
And entertaining as always, Bill, thank you so much for stopping by. We always appreciate your time.
Thank you. Just, I don't want to do any Celtic games. Can we not do that? I don't want to see that team. Let's do the other teams.
Okay. Well, Doris, you read most reporters, they try to stay impartial, but not Bill Simmons.
Well, I think that's what makes him special, Kevin, right? He has his own lens through which he sees things, and he is unafraid to give you his opinion.
Philadelphia shooting wonderfully up to this point, 67%. And coming into this season, questions about whether the Sixers could retain their star players. Well, Greg, they shuffled the decks, but they still have great talent.
Swapping in Al Horford for Jimmy Butler, Josh Richardson for J.J. Redick. The Sixers still in the mix to come out of the East.
Schroeder kicks to Nader. Over to the wing. Here's Adams. And it's Joel Embiid with the rebound. Embiid's got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. And again, it's Philadelphia.
Well, the size advantage playing a big part there. Just calmly rises and fires.
Schroeder passes to Baisley. Here's Adams, and Adams with the slam.
Make no mistake, an intimidating 7-footer. Steven Adams gets the space he needs and finishes with ease.
Simmons, and that one drops for him. Simmons got 34 points.
And he has just been in a flow offensively. Terrific game. He has been the X factor.
Lots of room. And that one hits back iron.
All alone from mid-range. They know he won't miss many of those.
Richardson, no luck. Here's Nader. Over Simmons. And so it's Ben Simmons making highlights for the Philadelphia 76ers. And his big game just keeps getting bigger. That quarter sees him get over 30 points. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Coach, what is your impression of the first half?
That we played. And I thought we found a really good balance of posting and pace. It's what we've been talking about. And I thought our defense, for the most part, was excellent.
A good start. We'll see how they finish. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David. And we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back to 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson alongside Shaquille O'Neal. And the Jet, Kenny Smith. Let's get to it. Ben Simmons had it going on in the first quarter. He had 34 points and 1 rebound. And from what we saw so far from the Sixers, Kenny, what's your takeaway?
That was the half of the super sub for them. A lot of offense coming off the bench, and that's such a luxury to have that kind of firepower available. There were times when the pace picked up when the second unit came into the game. And that's the best part, having a bunch of guys who's ready at the drop of a hat.
And now, Shaq, let's get your opinion on Oklahoma City.
Well, they gave up too many good looks. You look at the field goal percentage against them, this tells the whole story. Not enough activity defensively, not enough disruption, Ernie. Like Kenny disrupts me all the time, not enough disruption.
And that should do it. With the second half about to begin, let's send you back to Kevin Harlan. Go back to Kevin Harlan. Go over there.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. What a game we're seeing from Simmons.
In that first half, he was a hot knife, and the defense was butter, sliced right through them.
His penetration was a real problem for them. And then, of course, the monster finishes at the cup.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. The tall lineup out there for the 76ers. Simmons, Richardson, Harris, Horford, and Embiid. That's the group in the game for the 76ers. Now here's Paul after Ben Simmons' miss. There's the pass to Paul. Good on the triple. Paul's got the first field goal of the second half for the Thunder.
And Paul has a beautiful stroke from deep. A gifted shooter who drains perimeter shots with consistency.
Now here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Richardson covering. To the wing on the left. Inside. And Paul gets it to go in. Paul's got 5 points in the quarter.
And you know what? He's really been one of the few bright spots for them, trying to will this team to victory.
And there's the call on Joel Embiid. That is his first foul of the game. Paul outside. Feeds to Adams. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. Or as you think about the anchor of this team, Steven Adams just holds it down in the middle.
Oh, Steven Adams does so much, but it all starts on the defensive end with this guy. He takes away so much space on the interior. He is commanding on the backboards. He contests shots. Everything you could hope for, Steven Adams brings.
Shooting 2.
First free throw is good. A lot of switching on every possession in the NBA from a defensive standpoint, and you see the way Doris offenses are adjusting to that.
Yeah, I think number one, you have to attack the switch. That's first and foremost. And it's an interesting balance between attacking and being patient, because the one thing you're ultimately seeking in every switch is a favorable matchup for yourself. That's where a critical thinking guard who knows where to find and put the ball is so critical to your success.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. No good from Simmons.
Boy, as slow a start as you could have. Just 1 for 4 from the field. They're struggling.
And the shot goes in.
Wow, what a start to this half. 3 for 3, dictating the pace on the offensive end. They're rolling early.
It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Adams has got rebound number 11 for him here tonight.
Not how they hoped to start this half. 1 for 5, brick after brick. Let's start building the building.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Pass to Horford. Over Gallinari. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Horford's got 10.
From that in-between range, they've been the much better team.
Paul against Simmons. Lets it go from 14. The shot's good from Paul. Paul's got 33 points.
Wow, 5 straight buckets coming out of half. They are rolling.
And the basket is good.
I love it when Al Horford is challenging defenders to stay with him. Use your physicality, big man.
With the teardrop, and it's laid in by Paul. Paul's got 9 points now in the quarter.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
Baseline J on the way. Shot's good by Simmons.
With a consistently improving offensive game, Simmons is lethal whenever he's on the court.
Here's Paul. And oh, that was close. He draws the foul. He'll shoot 2. That one on Horford. Well, we're now on the back end of what has been, Greg, an incredible career for Chris Paul. Perhaps no longer the undisputed best point guard in the game, but still a top talent.
And Chris Paul might not be the best point guard, but any team would be happy to have him. His efficiency and playmaking aren't going away anytime soon. And even though he's never been an overly athletic player, that aspect of his game still is strong as ever.
And that one falls for Paul. And for the Thunder, a lot of the assistant coaches leaving this past summer. Greg, how much of a concern is that for head coach Billy Donovan?
Possibly a sign that Donovan could be on the hot seat in OKC. I mean, 3 consecutive first-round exits. Donovan on the final year of his deal. The clock is definitely ticking.
And so Paul nails both of them.
Wow, they've made every free throw here in the second half.
And it's Harris off the drive, up and in on the layup. He's got 9.
When you allow good scorers to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
Greg, to me, this is simply stated been a complete lack of defensive attention and focus all night long.
Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Tobias Harris picking up that last basket. Ferguson misses. Embiid against Paul. And the 76ers tack on 2 more.
Coming off a big game, his confidence couldn't be higher, and coach knows it.
Well, the best players, to me, deliver night after night after night. So as long as he's hot, keep riding it.
And he might be small for a center, but boy, can he jump out of the building.
Horford. And the rebound goes to the Thunder. Gilgeous-Alexander's got his 4th rebound in this one. To the middle. A nice shot by Gallinari. Gallinari's got 8 points.
pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Here's Harris, and slam dunk by Harris.
Love how Al Horford shares the basketball. He does whatever he can to make his teammates better.
Gilgeous-Alexander kicks to Ferguson. Paul for three. And Joel Embiid pulls it down. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
That's his first personal foul.
Well, we knew that Tobias Harris would be one of the big names during free agency this past summer.
Wasn't a lot of speculation for him when free agency hit. Ends up staying with the Sixers, and I think it makes sense for both sides, and he fits nicely next to Embiid.
The first one falls. Doris, who are some of your favorite players to interact with, interview, and question as you go through the season?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys. I think, certain people really give a lot of thought to their answers. So a Kyrie Irving, he wants to explain what he's thinking. He's willing to share and take a moment and consider the question. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, all of these guys, when I ask a question, Kev, they'll pause for a moment, consider the question, and then respond. And for somebody who's got to interview, there's nothing greater than having those guys willing to take some time with me.
Well, Doris, and you always get great answers from them too, so there's a great rapport there I can see. 16 feet away. Jump shot is good that time. He's got 15.
Slow rotation there defensively, and he gets a wide open look from mid-range.
And I'll tell you, you look up at the scoreboard, that's correct. They have a big lead for a reason.
It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
And it didn't fall, but that's the kind of shot they want their offense to create.
It can be frustrating when you make the right play and fail to reap the rewards. You just have to stay with it here.
Chalk up 2 there. Harris has got 10 points here in the second half. And it's Paul with the ball for the Thunder. To the left wing. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. And again, unable to change momentum here. Neto, that's a 2-pointer. Offensive rebound. Hits. Count that one from Ennis. Ennis has got 14 points for the game.
Just great use of the rim to shield the defender from the ball and finish on the reverse.
Yeah, just solid work on the back end of that play.
Yep, you're right. Finished hard with 2 hands on that stuff. From deep, Neto. And the 76ers get it back. Good work there as it goes.
Boy, you got to give it to the big fella from Norfolk State. O'Quinn making his presence felt on the second chance opportunities.
Passes it to Muscala. Back to Paul. Here's Gallinari. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got 5 assists in the game. Here's Ennis, and he makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now a 3-point play chance here for him.
How about the concentration? He gets hit, but stays with the play and gets the finish.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
When you look at his numbers this season, he's had a respectable number, 77%.
A different look for Oklahoma City. Nader's checked in, and Diallo subbed in for Gilgeous-Alexander. Free throw drops for Ennis.
Well, the Thunder have always done a great job of finding players to fill roles on their team.
Well, you look at the talent they have lost over the years for a variety of reasons. Most notably, Russell Westbrook and Paul George, James Harden, Victor Oladipo, Serge Ibaka, just to name a couple of guys. This team, though, has always had that next man up. They've got a great front office who does a great job reloading every season.
Here's Burton. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. Pass to Schroeder. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. That one on Harris.
This is where the speed of Dennis Schroeder comes into play. When he's moving like this, the defender is in a tough spot.
And Doris, even though Schroeder changed roles when he was traded from Atlanta to the Thunder, he has embraced his new team.
A lot of people wondered, would Schroeder be willing to go to the bench and accept that role? He proved he was more than capable. And no longer having to act as a leader on a team. I think for Schroeder, he just enjoys going out and competing on a team with high aspirations. It's been a good fit.
And the first one drops. Greg, last season, Dennis Schroeder transitioning to more of a sixth-man role with the Thunder.
And for his first go at that role, I thought Schroeder looked really good. He's always been able to score and create, and coming off the bench might be the best spot for him.
Korkmaz checked in for Tobias Harris. Timeout called the 76ers. As we approach the halfway mark, let's take a look at how everything stands out west. You take a look at the Thunder. They're 7th right now. Not a bad spot, but certainly they'd like to string together a run of wins.
And when I look at Oklahoma City, they haven't had the great season that some were expecting, but it hasn't been a disaster. They just need a few things to go right for them down the stretch.
It's an amazing thing. If you can get a couple of wins, generate some momentum, you've got to believe they'll be just fine.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots simply have not been there. Nothing seems to be falling.
Schroeder surveying the floor. And the pass to Baisley, and he gets it to go. Baisley's got his third basket of the night right there.
They are just killing them on the interior.
And here's Neto outside. The shot, no good. And the Thunder going the other way now.
Boy, what a nightmare quarter for this guy. He's playing right into the hands of the defense at this point.
Doris, such an honor to be on this with you. And you were the first female to become a full-time NBA analyst, breaking new ground. You've accomplished so much in your life, personally, professionally. What would you tell young women who are graduating college, looking to get ahead in their career in what you've chosen?
Well, first and foremost, I've been very lucky, Kevin. The game of basketball has been a part of my life since I was 7. It's been a driving force. I love it. I would just tell young women, times are changing. Dream big. There's nothing that's impossible. And I'm so thankful to the NBA players and coaches who have just wrapped their arms around me from the time I entered this business. So kudos to those players who are part of the change, no question.
And hard work. I have seen you work. I have seen you prepare. No one prepares more. No one works harder than you.
Thanks, Kev.
Both shots good from the stripe.
You know, I think one of the important things for Dennis Schroeder is to keep trying to become more and more efficient. Let his offense come naturally and improve as a distributor.
And he's had an excellent performance overall from the field.
Pass to Nader. Some nice passing by Oklahoma City here. Back to Muscala. Passes it to Nader. 5 on the clock, right at the free throw line, and Philadelphia grabs the miss. O'Quinn's got rebound number 12 here already in the game. Neto can't get it to go.
He is single-handedly dropping the temperature in here with that cold streak.
He is trying to shoot his way out of it, and it might be better for him to pass the basketball at this point.
Takes a three. But they get it back. Pass to Ennis. Here's Korkmaz from deep. And it's Baisley with the rebound. Here's Diallo, and he uses the glass on the layup.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Neto, that's a two-pointer. Goes back up, and the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
Boy, broad-shouldered, barrel-chested. O'Quinn showing his strength right there.
First trip to the free throw line for him tonight. Simmons checked in for the 76ers. And that one falls for O'Quinn.
Impeccable from the line since halftime.
Now here's Diallo. Defense is right there. And two shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And now a look at the upcoming schedule for the 76ers. On Thursday, they'll be matching up against Gordon Hayward and the Boston Celtics. And then on Saturday, they'll go up against Kristaps Porzingis and the Dallas Mavericks.
And for their matchup with the Nets, there aren't many other meetings that are as evenly matched as this one. Both teams can give and take punches, and this one, I think, is going to come down to the wire.
That free throw missing. He hits the second from the line.
And this is one of the things they need to keep doing in the second half to get this win. Keep knocking down those free throws. They've been sensational here at the line.
Offensive rebound. O'Quinn uses the glass to finish the layup. O'Quinn's got 9 points.
The defense has nothing for that. O'Quinn using that upper body strength to clear space to the bucket.
Here's Schroeder. No good. Simmons with the defensive effort. Fast break, Philadelphia. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, one of the things that teams are more aware of in the age of analytics is the importance of sleep. Those teams are making adjustments. Morning shoot-arounds have been moved in some cases to the afternoon or eliminated altogether. There are many fewer teams that are taking red-eye flights across country. Some teams even give players orange-tinted glasses to encourage them to sleep. There's a lot of work to be done in this field, but the direction is clear.
Continuing to evolve. All right, David, thank you. And there's a minute 45 left to play here in the third. Schroeder, left side, and there's the pass to Diallo. Off target from three-point range.
He is too good a shooter, guys, to be left open like that. The defense just dodged a bullet there.
Count that one.
Yeah, a big part of this run here has been their ability to score from mid-range.
And so it's Schroeder with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Thunder. To the inside. Baisley, good. Baisley's got 6 points in the quarter.
Boy, this guy has been terrific. The rest of the team, however, struggling.
Here's Simmons. They get it back. Second shot opportunity. The shot's good from O'Quinn. That gives him a double-double in this one. 11 points and 17 rebounds. Pass to Diallo. Back to Schroeder. Here's Nader. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. 43 seconds left in the third. Down low. O'Quinn can't hit.
I'll tell you, everything went right in terms of execution. He just can't get it to go.
Throws it up high. Nice catch and finish on the alley-oop.
Oh, what a pass. And then he lays it in with the circus move.
So smooth. And the shot is good.
And with off-the-charts awareness, Simmons makes plays that others simply don't see.
Now Schroeder, he's got 9. Pass to Baisley. Back to Schroeder. Just 5 to shoot. And the wing jumper offline. Here's Simmons. And it's in. Oh, wow, he nails the buzzer beater.
One eye on the rim, one eye on the clock. Nice job.
Well, finishing quarter strong. Every coach preaches it. Nice work.
And so it's Philadelphia, able to put on a show for the ages. They've been playing some ferocious defense. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute. And with the fourth quarter upon us, time is running out for this game to become competitive. And for the Thunder, they're shooting for the game at 42%. So for Oklahoma City right now, they've got Steven Adams, Ferguson out there with Dennis Schroeder, and it's Baisley in at the 4 slot. And here are the 76ers now, after the missed 3 from Dennis Schroeder. And that one's good. Korkmaz.
And one of the stories of the second half has been all of those second chance points. I mean, they have been terrific on the offensive backboard.
Here's Ferguson. 3-pointer. Cans it from downtown.
And as they're trailing in this game, they're trying to stay in it with the triple. They're shooting a lot more of them than they did in the first half.
Got that one up quick. Holden's got his first points of the night. Oklahoma City's gone 1 of 2 from 3-point range here in the fourth. Schroeder, right side, fires from deep. And again, Oklahoma City with the triple.
And that's back-to-back threes. The D just seems to be slacking off a little bit.
Holden, good.
Boy, the big man, Kyle O'Quinn, showing pretty touch on the pass.
Oklahoma City's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. To the paint. Here's Adams, and Adams with the slam.
Oh, that's straight TNT, baby. Explosive.
That was pretty, and he just has that effortless knack for getting inside. Count that bucket.
Boy, that's a backbreaker. Takes it right into the rim and extends their lead.
You want to make sure your opponent knows they have absolutely zero chance of a comeback, and nice finish by him.
Now here's Adams. Pass to Baisley. Count that as his 7th field goal, 9 tries. He's shooting 78%.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
And that one is good. And here now the Thunder. Doris, you and I are faced with this a lot, voting for the MVP. Great stats versus winning. Where do you stand on that when you vote for the league MVP?
Well, winning could be the definitive line if I have 2 candidates who are close. For instance, for me, this last MVP came down to James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I took it to the last possible moment. And I could have gone in either direction and been comfortable. Ultimately, I went with Giannis, and the deciding factor came down to he led his team to the best record in the league. It was a difficult vote, but ultimately it's one category which helps tilt me in one direction or another.
And I did too, and what also helped me was just the improvement defensively they had made, and I know Antetokounmpo was a very big part of it.
No, it's a great point. He was a two-way force.
And even without that 3-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
A shot by Milton, no good.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
That shot wide open.
Heavy incoming from beyond the arc, a key part of their initiative this entire fourth quarter.
It feels like they have worked their perimeter game to perfection, swinging the ball, cashing in from the outside. What a performance.
And so it's Oklahoma City with it. 76ers getting the bucket. Right wing. Here's Baisley. Gets it to go for bucket number 8. He's taken just 10 shots. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Inside. Here's Bolden. On target from 13 feet.
Boy, every time he goes up now, it just looks like the shot's going in. He's perfect from the field in this quarter.
The pass to Adams. Nader kicks to Ferguson. Here's Nader. From deep. Baisley, good. Baisley's got 15 points here in the second half.
Well, after netting one in the first half, that's the second deep ball to go down for this guy.
And Philadelphia calls time here. Doris, when you look at the success of international players, and the league has a litany of very good international players, Doncic being the latest success story, is the perception changing about these kids when they come from overseas and play in the NBA?
Well, one of the greatest, and then to me, the greatest international player of all time, Dirk Nowitzki, a Hall of Fame player, probably changed the perception to start with. Now, listen, over the years, Luka is going to have perhaps a Hall of Fame career if he stays healthy. The reality is this. The NBA is looking for the best players to man those 15 roster spots of the 30 NBA teams. It doesn't matter where you're from, what the color of your skin is. If you can play the game of basketball and play it at the highest level, the NBA wants you to be a part of their league.
And the Thunder making a switch here.
Deontay Burton. Chris Paul.
And so it's Burke who brings up the ball for the Philadelphia 76ers. The shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. Burke's got his first bucket of the night. Oklahoma City's gone 4-7 with the long ball here in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma City moving the ball around. Burton, no good.
Boy, surprised he missed that. The defense just good enough to prevent that bucket.
Here's Milton. It's good. The assist that time from Burke. Burke's got his third assist on the night.
And bullseye with that assist. Nice delivery there in traffic.
Pass to Ferguson. Helps teams if they can keep the rights to their best player. We see it in other leagues. Could the franchise tag ever make its way, do you think, to the NBA?
Well, this is going to be a negotiation point between the Players Association and the league itself. And the reality is it's going to have to be negotiated. What we know unequivocally, Kevin, is that these players now in the player empowerment era have more control about what franchise they play for and how long the duration of their contract is. How this all shakes out remains to be seen, but it is a point of conversation amongst the 30 NBA teams and the league leadership. There's no question about it.
Shooting one.
That free throw good from Korkmaz. Doris, we've both been very public in our admiration for LeBron, the face of the league, for so many years. When he retires, and we're approaching that date, who do you think might step up and take his place as the face of the NBA?
Well, probably the most likely candidate is the new and reigning MVP, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is an absolute physical force. He's put on 50 pounds. He's getting more and more skilled. When he adds that three-point shot as a consistent weapon and gets to an in-between game, he will be impossible to guard. Kawhi Leonard, he is now sort of taking over as a multi-time winner of the Finals MVP, and certainly a player guys want to play with. So just a couple of possibilities there, Kev.
And Philadelphia calls time here. Doris, all right, this is going to come out of the blue here, but if you had to choose between raising the height of the basket or widening the floor or even widening the lane, which would it be?
I have very strong feelings on this, Kevin, and for me it would be widening the floor. And the reason I say that is it feels to me in the last couple of years there are more sideline violations where teams are turning it over because they're trying to get to that corner three, one of the most advantageous, best shots in today's game. But because that three-point line is so close to the sideline out of bounds, we're seeing too many violations. So if I had to choose between one or the other, I would absolutely widen the floor.
They are enjoying the commanding lead.
And it really gives them the opportunity to give their starters a rest. Always critical when you get ready for that home stretch.
The Thunder have gone 8 of 16 from the field in the fourth, exactly 50%. Paul looking over the floor. Paul is doubled. Hervey. And it's off from three-point range. Passes it to Milton. There's the three. And the 76ers get it back.
And that's a nice job on the offensive glass there. That'll let them work the clock even more.
Oklahoma City's gotten 8 shots off from three-point land and hit half of them. Burton, the pass to Patton. Got a piece of it. Launches a three. No good on the shot. And the Thunder going the other way now. Now the dish to Paul. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. It's going to go on Trey Burke. Doris, we know historically the Celtics, the only franchise to ever have a 4 straight championships. Do you think at some point we're going to see another?
I'm not sure there can be in today's NBA, Kevin, and there are a number of different contributing factors. Number one, the salary cap implications that happen. Number two, look at the Golden State Warriors, who were well positioned for a three-peat. And yet, as you know, luck plays a small part in an NBA championship. Luck relative to injuries. You see Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant both get lost in the midst of an NBA Finals.
True.
This is it's challenging enough to go back-to-back. Forget about four-peat.
And Oklahoma City making a change here. Diallo's checked in, and so Paul nails both of them. Philadelphia's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Fires it up. It falls for his 7th bucket of the contest. He's 7 for 9.
You know, put a rough first half behind him. He's absolutely crushing it here in the second.
Pass to Patton. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Making the most of the screen. That's how it's done.
And it's in the perfect spot, Greg. Frees him up to get all the way to the bucket.
Where was the defense? No fighting through the pick, no rotation. My goodness.
They are in complete control.
This is the ultimate definition of the zone. Everything they've done has worked. Yeah, you have to make greater effort than that defensively. You know what he can do from range.
Well, to me, Greg, that's just inexcusable. You start to wonder how much they really want this basketball game.
Now Burke following Chris Paul's three-point attempts. Where some of these players are making more money on endorsement deals than on their NBA contracts. I mean, I just shake my head at that, don't you?
It's an amazing time in which we live because the power of social media and the understanding of today's athlete that their brand is significant and that their brand extends outside of the lines of competition. You see so many men who have overseas opportunities, whether you're talking Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Donovan Mitchell. They understand the power of the face and the talents they bring to the table. Truly, truly remarkable young men.
Remarkable indeed.
Boy, it seems like every shot he puts up, it's going in. This guy is hot, hot.
Down low, here's Diallo. Good, and Paul gets the assist. Paul's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. Here's Burke. Here's another rebound.
Collecting yet another board.
He's been everywhere, just sensational.
And he has starting to turn it on now after that slow start.
Here's Burton. He kicks it to Paul. Here's Patton. Makes it off the glass.
Pretty dime there. The kind of ball movement coaches love to see.
To the paint. Here's Bolden. And he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more.
And, you know, you like the soft touch from O'Quinn, both shooting and there with the pass.
Doris, basketball continues to gain in popularity around the world, doesn't it? It's amazing to me.
It does. Adam Silver, the commissioner, has said, I believe we can be the #1 spot in the world. Obviously, they'd have to overcome the soccer, and that's popularity. But think about this, Kevin, how inclusive a game basketball is. And the love spans across gender, race, ethnicity, religious affiliation. And the best part about the game of basketball is this, Kevin. When you're growing up and trying to get better, you need a ball, you need a hoop, and you need you, and you don't need anything else.
That is so well said. Now, here's Diallo. And they double up Paul. The pass to Patton. And here's Diallo. 6 to shoot. The steal. And they're running. Here's Bolden. Great pass to set up the lay-in.
Want easy looks? Don't allow the defense to set up.
What a beautiful fast break opportunity, and the finish pretty good.
Here's Burton. And it's O'Quinn with the rebound.
And that is a textbook example of how to defend your rim.
That boy, to have someone back there who can erase your mistakes, what a big-time asset defensively.
Now here's Paul. Burke covering. They need this. And Chris Paul hits from deep. Paul's got 7 points here in this quarter.
And they have been relentless from deep. And you see the defense trying to react, but to no avail.
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it, Greg? If you space the floor well enough, it's almost impossible for the defense to account for everyone.
It's stolen. Now, here's O'Quinn. Tight defense on him. Here's Korkmaz. Second chance shot. The rejection by Paul. Bolden can't get it to go. Oklahoma City shooting at a 46% clip in the fourth quarter.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the 76ers.
This is a game where the defense, steals specifically, generating a lot of opportunities.
And it created possessions for them, scoring opportunities, and that effort, a big part of what will be a nice victory here tonight.
And so this is going to end up as victory number 24 on the year.
No doubt they came in very motivated to win this one and finish the season series at a game apiece.
Elbow shot is on the way. Here's O'Quinn. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
Boy, he did everything right till he got to the rim. He needs to finish that.
Here's Patton. Pass to Diallo. Shot clock at 6. Oh, that was something else.
Have mercy. Well, this is what they needed earlier on. At some point, it's too little, too late.
Yeah, but then again, this run came against a team that may have felt it had already won, and you get the sense it let its guard down.
Timeout called the 76ers. They're ahead. There's 25 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
And they've got this one just about wrapped up.
It's not completely over, and they know that. But if they carry out their game plan, they should be golden.
And now a moment to take a look at our Jordan Player of the Game.
And his focus, guys, has been laser sharp, and his touch from the field, flawless. The teammates have worked hard to get him the ball in some good positions, and boy, has he rewarded them with a spectacular shooting performance. Great call to keep running all those sets for him.
And who'd have thought he'd be the guy to shake them out of this losing streak? Maybe that's been the problem. He hasn't been playing as big a role as he should have. There's 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Convincing lead with very little time remaining, and the fans are pumped.
Well, they're getting ready to celebrate, no doubt, GA. They know it's theirs to lose at this point.
It's good.
Give credit where credit is due right there. A terrific assist.
And here's MB. The rebound by Patton. Here's Burton. So it's Philadelphia winning this one easily. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Al. You guys do it as a five-man unit on the floor. How did you come together for this win?
Just taking good shots on offense, trying to, getting stops on defense. We challenged every shot. We just played hard tonight.
Great effort and a big win, Al. Congrats. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll do it, folks. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you later.